Hello everybody, how are you doing? IO Studios here for another After Effects tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create CG or computer generated imagery like I did for my CGI sci-fi art compilation thing. So here I'm going to be starting. It's going to be a pretty long video, so I'm just going to get right into it. I've got a little video here of me walking around a parking lot in town. Make sure you've got your resolution set to half, just because that's going to make it render a bit quicker. You don't need it at full resolution while you're just editing it. So pans around a bit here. I think I will trim it right here. Oops. So I'm just going to composition, trim to work area, trim to comp work area. Now head over here to tracker, track camera, and this will just kind of track 3D space. So this will take a while, and I'll be back when it's finished. Okay, and it's done. Now you can see we've got a bunch of track points in the scene here. We can select, it'll create a little target. So let's head to the start of our clip, and let's select somewhere that we want to put our actual object. So let's say I want to put it right there. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So we're going to right click, click set ground plane and origin, and right click again and click create null and camera. Then we've got a little bit of the null is a little red thing there. You can see. Let me just deselect the camera tracker. A little red thing there, so that when we're editing, we can see that as reference. However, that thing will not show an actual editing. Actually, I'm gonna turn off the sound of this thing. However, that will not show an actual final render. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create the actual layer where we're gonna put the 3D object. So let's create a new. We're just right click. New solid. Actually, we'll call this element. So the plugin I'm going to be using, Element 3D by Video Copilot. You guys should definitely get the plugin. It's great. Go ahead. The effects presets, Video Copilot element. And then this will just plugin will just kind of load in. Your thing might lag a bit. There we go. Now element's loaded in. You won't see a noticeable change, but just click Scene Setup. Now we're going to select an object. So if you haven't downloaded any object packs with your Element 3D, you'll just get the default textures and packs here. But I'm going to be using some model. I'm going to be using a model for a motion design pack. We'll head down to the bottom here. Maybe tech components or tech. We'll go to tech components. Let's find something. Maybe tech combustion 02. This looks pretty cool. Hey. And we're going to have to do a couple things first. So for this thing to be able to cast shadows onto the ground, we're going to go to create a plane model, then click the little arrow here, default. This is where the shadows are going to be cast onto. So first we're going to go ahead and scale, select the thing at the middle, drag it up so we've got a pretty big, model here. This is kind of going to be the parking lot. Think of this little white thing as the parking lot in reference for the actual 3D animation thing. Then go ahead and open up the little arrow there. Click default, then go to the settings, advanced, scroll down until you see matte shadow, enable matte shadow. It should disappear, the little layer, and you're done. Over here at least. Hit OK. Then let's go ahead and actually play the video a bit. And you can see here we've got a bit of this thing, but it's not really sticking to the ground. It doesn't look realistic. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually have to move this thing onto that null. You can see that null we had there, that little red thing, as a reference. I created that for a reason. So we need to move this thing over to that null. So we'll just go to the start of the clip. Oh, maybe one frame from the start of the clip. Hit group number 1. That's where you put it. That's where the object was created. Hit particle replicator. Oh, sorry, particle look. Now, if your particle doesn't, if your 3D model doesn't actually show up right away, go turn up the particle size and it'll scale it up. But we're going to scale it up to just like that. It's good probably. Then let's grab the rotation. So that should be pretty. Oh, okay, that was the wrong rotation. Wrong rotation again. Probably just like so. Should be pretty good. Bit of a, just like so. Then head to particle replicator and position. Just kind of move that around, and you'll notice a little red X there. you can just kind of click that, and then you can drag it. So I'd say drag the center of your 3D model kind of roughly onto the other one over there. And then rotation, once again, needs a bit of tweaking. Make sure it just kind of blends into your scene, you know what I mean? And once you're happy with the angle of everything, you're good. Make sure it's kind of on top of that 3D null, and you're good, and it will now stick to the ground a lot better. It sticks a lot better to the ground, but still not perfect. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna, we'll just, once again, it's all about tweaking, right? It doesn't, I think it's pretty good now, though. Probably just like that is pretty decent. Now, what we're gonna do, we're going to head over to the render settings. Go to shadows, enable, select shadow mapping, select ray traced, then go to ambient occlusion, enable AO mode, SSAO, enable ray traced instead, and you can see we've actually got some shadows, some bit of shadow there. That's pretty good. Now, that's done. What we're going to do is we're going to actually create the shadow. So there's a few more things to do in the settings here, but we'll deal with that later. For now, let's go and create a new light. Make sure it is a spotlight. Make sure you got cast shadows enabled. Hit OK. Then we're going to do this, and it's going to get this really like dad looking whatever, but don't worry, we'll fix that. Go to, instead of active camera, go to top view. And we're going to need to change where the light is. So I think the sun was about behind me when I recorded this. So just kind of move the light so it's behind. Move the light so it's just kind of behind you. Maybe where the camera is. Slightly behind you. And also this is the camera. This is kind of your perspective. But anyway, we'll just move that a bit like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. Then head to the right view. And make sure that the light is, I think that's a light there. Yeah, make sure that the light is above the actual, make sure the light is actually above the model. So you can see here's kind of the 3D model, like there about. Then we need to make sure the light is above the 3D model. So right about there, where the sun would be. Move it back a bit maybe. Yeah, just like that. Then hit R. Should open up the rotation here. We can just tweak these. Maybe look if the sun is looking down at it. Then let's head to the top view again. And I'm actually going to go ahead. And I'm going to move this light. Maybe it's to the side a bit, just so that it looks from the side. And we'll change the rotation. It's this rotation, yep. And we'll just kind of tweak that like so. Then we are going to go ahead and we're going to switch to front top view. I think, yeah, active camera, sorry. Switch to active camera. Let's make sure that this one is fit. And we got a bit of a shadow here. So next, yeah, so this shadow is way too harsh. It's a bit too, yeah, it's just way too harsh in my opinion. So what we can do is, well, first of all, we want to make the shadow fit what we want a bit more. So what we're going to do instead, once again, we're going to go back to the top view. We're going to move the light actually closer. We're going to move the light closer to the object, just by a bit like that. Then we're going to look from the right view. So I want this light to be a bit more up. The shadow it casts isn't as long, and we'll rotate it once again. This one, yeah. We'll rotate it a bit more, just like so. And I believe we're done with at least the shadows. So I'll switch to active camera, fit. Yeah, a bit better of a shadow. Still way too harsh because it's obviously completely black, which is not what we want. So what we're going to do is we're going to head to the Element 3D render settings, shadows. Oops, it's called matte shadow down here, I believe, matte shadow. Then shadow opacity, we'll set that to maybe 60, I don't know. Yeah, there we go, looks a bit better. And, see here? Looks pretty well, or looks pretty good, so there. Now, the last thing we're going to do as well, we're going to change the environment. So, head to scene setup again. Check the little environment box there. Head to presets, environment, can do basic 1K, and this will be kind of an environment, kind of what kind of lighting, a little bit of lighting preset onto here. So let's go, maybe we're, I guess, definitely outside in the parking lot, so maybe on top of the roof, because it's extremely exposed, right? Like that, maybe, more basic 2K. Yeah, that's pretty good. What is that? Is that on the beach? Maybe like that? I don't know. Let's see. How does that look? Looks a bit more realistic, yeah. I think that's okay. Pretty decent. A lot of reflections. But I think that's pretty good. Now the last thing we're going to do as well, a couple more things here. Head to effects and presets. Now we're going to start making this thing look a bit more realistic. So head to effects and presets. Fast blur, not blur, blur. There you go, CC radial fast blur. Nope. Drag that onto your, oh, no. Fast blur, why is it dragging both of them? Okay, whatever. Sorry, just select CC fast blur, amount, 1. Just 1 fast blur. That should just make it a bit more realistic. Search noise as well. Drag that onto the element. We'll do 1% noise, just helps it look a bit more realistic. Then let's go to curves, search through the curves effect, put that onto there. And the curves effect, curves is just for tweaking the color, so maybe we might turn it up a bit. Maybe the RGB, turn it up a bit more. I think that's pretty good. That's pretty, I mean, obviously if you turn it up tons, it'll be really white, turn it down, it'll be really black, so you just want to know what you're doing. I think that's good. That's pretty good there. Now I got all those effects. Now, we're pretty much done. This is pretty much it. You could definitely do more. And I mean, once again, though, if you're going to make this thing more realistic, you're going to be spending maybe an hour just tweaking everything. You know, the ambient occlusion, the shadow diffusion, everything. You're going to be just... So this is kind of basic. And you can play with all this. Make it look more realistic, right? So now we're going to add... what I'd like to add, layer... I like to add this to all my videos. If you want to, you can. You don't have to. Adjustment layer. I'll put that on top of your light. And then just hit... Oops, hello. Put it on top of the light. Make sure you have the layer selected. Hit Control D. That'll duplicate it. We'll rename one contrast and the other color grading. So I had to click the contrast one. Go here. Search contrast. Brightness and contrast. Set the contrast thing there. And you can see here, as I turn up the contrast, it gives it a bit more of a richer feeling, I guess. I don't know. You don't have to use too much contrast if you don't want to. Maybe just 75 contrast. And you can see there, it makes it look a lot nicer, in my opinion at least. Then we can also go ahead and go to curves, once again. And just drop it onto your color grading. Then go to RGB, select red, punch up the red a bit, then go to green, punch up the green as much as you punched up the red, and there you go. Looks a lot better now. So, yeah, it looks quite a bit better. I mean, you can do however much you want to of this effect. If you want to, you can really punch it up and really get a lot of, but you know, you probably don't want to do that. You probably just want to leave it just kind of decent, you know. And yeah, you've already seen the final result at the beginning of the video. So, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Leave a like, subscribe to my channel. If I forgot anything, let me know in the comments. I don't think I did. But yeah, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, like, of course, share this video with your friends if you want to learn how to make these realistic CG things. Anyway,